minutes as long as it goes. You gotta be right on top of it.
You're like playing Steven Tyler or something. All right, back in June I did a 2.5-week trip to London and Southern England. When I did to make sure I was good for this trip, I've been there to London a few times before. I made notations from before, I got photos from before, went through books, went through maps, everything. I also went through Google Maps and looked at satellite images for fine-tuning stuff to see this exact sun angle, whether a station is aligned north and south, east and west, anywhere in between, single platform, side platforms, and multiple tracks, what happens. I made this into a notebook. I carried a notebook with me everywhere I went, so I knew what the optimal time of day was for any particular location. Well, I always do for a morning flight to London. You lose your time here, but you gain the time over there. You leave at 8 in the morning, you're there at 8 p.m. their time. So, got myself together that first morning on June 14th and went out photographing. This is one of my favorite spots. For those who want to know, take some notes. If you haven't been to London, you want to go to London, there are some incredible photo locations there. Sheer amount of volume of trains. This is South Kenton on the London Underground Bakerloo line and overground Washington DC line. The station itself is not going to be one of those two services, but it is phenomenal for the West Coast Main Line. It's right next to it. This is a down, semi-fast working. Tracks in London, how they basically work is trains going towards London are going up. Trains coming from London are coming down. No northbound, no southbound, everything is up or down. So this train is coming from London to Euston Station. It's a Siemens class 350 electrical and overhead electric, rail electric. It is running for London Northwestern Railway, which is a subsidiary of West Midlands Train. Right coming down the up track to London. This is Monty West Coast class 390 Pennsylvania. This operates the West Coast Main Line's main long distance services. At one point when I first started with these trains, it was Virgin West Coast, now it's Boston. You may also see a train without any doors, no doors or windows. The Royal Mail has their own fleet of electric local units. They operate as a mail center by Wilson on the West Coast Main Line, and they operate further north points in Glasgow, Liverpool, and anywhere else on the West Coast Main Line. You may all know, these are probably gone now. Class 319 electrical units, just like the 350s, overhead and further electric. These were built in 1988 with Thames Link line, the original Thames Link line from Bedford to Newark through central London and then right to South London. Personal favorites, these are my favorite trains over here. They've had many different paint schemes over the years. This was one used for Thames Link's former livery, and now they have a few of these operating for London Northwestern Railway, which, like I said, right about they're probably gone by about that. Freight trains in England, you never have to go and look for a freight. Any main line, you will find a freight train at some point. Middle of rush hour, you'll find a freight train. This is a Class 66 diesel, built by GM in Canada. You may also see a Class 66 operate by itself. There's a company on this called Southern Railway, which operates a service that passes through Western London up to Watford Junction. They're now up to 5-car trains, 377 Class 5 units. They are built by DiBari Electric Star Series, and they have these trains all over South London. After I got done there, first of all, sound camera, like I said, one of the best places to photograph, probably from about 1 in the afternoon until about 5 in the afternoon, most times. When I got done there, I went over to Stonebridge Park. Stonebridge Park is on the Bakerloo and Watford, DC line. It's on the raised embankment, so it's a good sun angle. This is London Overground's newer cars they have, the Class 710 Bombardier Adventure. You also have the Bakerloo line with their 1972 stock, which when I was there, they were not talking about replacing. 50 years old and still going, although they look like crap. The Brits would call them a bit tatty. Since now, I've understood the last couple of weeks, they're going to do an add-on to the new 2024 stock that's going to come out. And they also put some Bakerloo line cars on that. The next day, I plan on doing some Central London stuff. I wound up actually having to go to the South Coast to buy a camera case. Long story tonight. The station there that I had to get off at is Burgess Hill. Southern operates service there. It usually stops at every 20 minutes to half an hour. Thameslink, most services from Thameslink come through here without stop. These are Class 700/1 Siemens Desiro city units. Strange looking ends of the train, but they're nice. They come 12 car formations for most. There are some 8 car formations also. These are a couple years old, just a couple years old. After getting done at Burgess Hill, I went up to Haywood Heath. Did a little more shooting over there with the Thameslink. And Southern, and one more we have, Gallic Express. This is also part of the Electrostar family, Class 387. Southern, Thameslink. Southern, Thameslink, Gallic Express, and another one called Great Northern are all part of the same family, via Thameslink Railway. The next day, I was going to meet up with my friend Colin Smith, who's a train operator over there, an ERA member, and I had to meet him at 2 p.m. at Acton Town Station. So I had the morning to do some of the Piccadilly line and the District line beforehand. This is at Ravens Court Park. Piccadilly line service does not stop here, but District line does. Piccadilly was going to go here before the 1973 tube stock speeds will be replaced by the 2024 once they start coming in, probably sometime during next year. Next station over, Stamford Brook. This is one of those great places to photograph the underground. Westbound, it's an island platform. Eastbound is a side platform from the district. If you do it in the morning, you can get the district line stop there. There's a slight stagger in the platforms. Piccadilly line coming through. Next station over, Turnham Green. Piccadilly line trains normally do not stop here, except very, very early in the morning, very late in the evening. Next station over, looks like it should be Chiswick Park. They pronounce it Chiswick Park. This train is probably going towards the airport. Piccadilly line serves Heathrow Airport and gets a lot of service. Coming back eastbound from the airport or from Raiders Lane when the other and the district line S7 stop, so they can stop. The district line from Hammersmith City and the circle use what's called S7 stop. S is for sub-service. They're the larger mainline size trains. They're all 7-car units long. Metropolitan line has other S stop called S8 on the 3-car formation, a little more long distance service, a little different seating configuration.
So Nick, the S8 is used on the Metropolitan.
S8 is on the Metropolitan line only. Then we go to Alberton, which decent shot during the midday. During the long days of summer, the far end of the platform is very good. Then we have Sudbury Town. Why I came up with Colin is because Acton Town is right next to Acton Depot for the London Transport Museum. And they just happened to be having an open day when I was there. went up with him, we went in. This is their preserved 1938 tube stock. This train is used on a lot of excursions. It was done about a week before I went there, and about a week after I went. They also preserved one of the E-stock cars still out there. We will see some of the E-stock trains given away. What is a tube train out of tube train? This is a 1940s sort of tube car built for what was called the Longtime City Railway. Now part of London Underground, 1994. Back in 1940, this thing was built. It was operated by Southern Railway, later on by British Rail, then it was Southeast. They preserved this one particular car. The Waterloo and City's main purpose is to get people from Waterloo Station to and from Bank Station in the heart of London. Its nickname is the Drain. Because if you look at it on the map, it looks like a drain pipe, funneling people south from Bank into get their trains, suburban trains to Waterloo. The museum also has a very extensive bus collection. On the left is a route master, aka RN. On the right, slightly cut off this shot, is the unique front entrance route master, the only one built. They also have this beauty there, which is my personal favorite, operated by Great Green. Back in the mid-80s to mid-90s, London buses were contracted out, so you had many operators in different colors operating services. Capital City bus, bright yellow. A company called Armchair, don't laugh at it. Light brown and orange, etc., etc. Metro buses, blue and yellow. Well, Great Green operated several routes, including the number 24, which is one of the premier big-time service routes in London. Later on, it's since been absorbed into bus groupings and so on and so forth. At the time, this was a big thing. And as a side note, I was the only U.S. member of the Great Green Enthusiast Club. A friend of mine from Canada who's originally from the UK, Paul Casey, many of you know. Paul was the traffic manager at Great Green back in the day. And he got me to be a member of this group. We have a single-decker AEC Merlin. There's a Merlin and there's a Swift. I believe this is the Merlin. It's virtually identical with different engines, slightly different. These things are used on what they call the red arrow routes back in the 70s. They were basically non-stop express routes, different train stations, Victoria, Waterloo, Liverpool Street, you name it. This was similar. They're all gone now. All have been taken over, renumbered, and this is an RT bus. This was the predecessor to these things lasted until 1970. Now this is what one of the examples of a current London bus looks like. This is outside of Madison Station where I'm staying. All the routes non-stop.
Is it what would be considered a forest bus?
No, this is not the forest bus. It's similar because it has the glass staircase on the side, but it's not the forest bus. On the other side of the Hammersmith fly over the background there, you'll see this. When I was there in London previously in 2013, I got a quick grab shot of one of the previous types of buses they had. They replaced it with these things, but it's still green. I like it. Regular single-decker current London buses. And the next day, Colin, our other friend David Rowe, are also here, and I took the early morning Eurostar train to Brussels. You guys are going to be going to Belgium next year. I think this will be perfect. This is the Brussels Metro. These are the old cars from, let's see, what's in my notes here, 1976, 1982. Several different buildings. Not bad looking cars, a little box, but not bad. This is one of the later cars called the Toros, the M6. These are built by CAF. The older cars are my two cohorts on the right. Too old to get up and protect them. more of the Boas, the M6s. Another one of the original cars. The name of the station I was at in French is Arts Loire. Its name in Flemish, I'm going to say this very carefully, is Kunstvet, W-E-T. I'm not going to say anything other than that. This unique board here shows the direction of travel, where you are in relation to the other stations, and how long it's going to be for whatever train to show up, line 6 and line 2. These are the newest cars. These are the M7s. Similar to the M6s, the Boas, but slightly different. These have LED head and tail lights. And the route numbers in it keeps changing. Green, red, blue, yellow, orange, everything. One of the old cars. Some of them. We found the station. I found there's a book that Robert Schwandel did a couple years back. And it was outside of Delta Station. It shows him a photograph of a train there. So we went to Delta Station to try and find it. We discovered kind of a similar shot, not perfect, but something above the tracks. Now this train here, we hear this, train was going to the yard. They had gates there. They had automatic gates to open up to let the train in. Another shot of it. Anything train, this is down on the platform. This is at Montgomery Station. I didn't get a chance to go on that upper level. That is where the commuter and your city lines go through. One of those places. I didn't have time to do. I was busy for a little bit down there, but two cohorts went out there. We hop on this trolley. Yep, PCC, Route 44, and we had to take it to a special stop we were going to. The name of this stop is called Tram Museum, because that's literally the tram museum off to the left. This is inside the tram museum. You guys, I guarantee you're going to be going here. You will not be disappointed. Everything in this museum is operable, whether it's rail or bus. Everything operates. The thing is huge. They've got a nice little cafe there. They've got a nice bookshop with different souvenirs and so on and so forth. I don't know everything about all these cars. I'm just going to show them. The only guidebook they had over there was in French.
That's a visceral car.
That's a bit, okay.
And the, where it says 1 agent, that's French for one-man car.
One-man car, okay. I kind of thought that might be the case. Okay. One of the buses like boot camp. Not bad looking. I've seen photos of these over the years. Probably 35 footers or so. I mean, it's like, this is just amazing. This is absolutely incredible. Like I said, they told me that they have these things go on parades all the time. I want to go back just to see this. This guy was coming into the depot here. So we hopped on this little tram and trailer to the last stop. Got a little shot of it over there. Tubering, exactly. Came back over by the tram museum and got one of the shot of the little Molly cars. Doesn't do anything to me. And yeah, I'll throw a bus shot in too. I actually got a model one of these. Now, we would have had a little more time to do some of Belgium for the rail stuff, but we had to find a place to get chocolate and Belgian fries. And we found a great place on the south side of the city by Square Fluegi, I believe it's called. That has the best fries in Belgium. Go there, you won't be disappointed. Next day was supposed to be a bus running day in London, and we were really disappointed. A lot of traffic, hard to get the buses to run on time. So I went out afterwards and did the Elizabeth line and the adjacent Great Western Main. This is a class 387 EMU, also again part of that Electrostar family. The way to photograph the Great Western Main line, you need a cloudy or a cloudy bright day. The sun is to south of you, you look at the sun constantly. So you want to have some sort of cloudy, and later on it got to be heavy rain. Class, 387 again. The first one was Heathrow Express. This is Great Western Railway. Here's the Great Western Railway IET Intercity Express train. All the 800 series trains they're electric, they're diesel, they're hydrogen powered, they got any combination of air power. The next day the weather was much better, so I went out to do the Southwestern Railway, which comes out of Waterloo. These are two of the class 455 EMUs. Maybe they got another year out of them, give or take. This is at Rains Park Station. Another station you want to go to because it's a staggered station. Lots of good shots available here. As the train, the 455 leaving with a different front end, that was the original front end. Class 159 diesel multiple units in the former Southwest Trains livery. Now, Southwest Trains was operated by Stagecoach, a bus group who operates over here, Coach USA and some of the others. They had this franchise for years. They lost it. Southwestern Railway, run by NTR Corporation at Longtime, they took over. There were trains that Southwest Trains ordered, and Southwestern Railway said, no, we don't want that. Let's see, I think it's the next shot. This is Class 450 electrical from the unit used on our suburban duties at the Southwestern Railway Station. This is the Class 707. They got 30 of these 5-car units ordered by Southwest Trains. Southwestern Railway takes over, and we all want them. Brand new. They are developing in Class 701. This is from back in 2017. A 701 has not gotten the service yet. And their customer service at Southwestern Railway, later on I'll tell you about a personal thing with them. There are a bunch of videos. Here's the 707 on the left and the Class 159 on the right. Class 444, electrical unit, also part of that Siemens, the Zero family. These are for the longer express services of the company. Very comfortable trains. There's not too much stuff built over there. Not much at all. Siemens, CAF, Bombardier, lots of different buildings over there.
What's the gauge?
Standard gauge. Standard gauge, but their loading gauge is different than ours. The loading gauge, with the proper line is narrower. So what they do is they make the trains above that a little wider. This is the next station down. New Malden, the station I've always just liked the name. It's a tough place to photograph though. The central platform has been out of service for many years. You have to go to the side platform. The next station down, Ferrylands. Essentially almost the middle of no place long enough. 2 side platforms, nothing covering you. It's one of those places you want to go see. There's a lot of volume through here. A couple of 450s. Next couple stations further down, West 5 with one of the 444s in the original paint scheme with Southwestern Railway decal. Another station went further back up now called Byfleet and Newhall. Not Heathrow, Newhall. Class 450s in the original paint scheme, which is actually nice. Stagecoach. Southwest Trains had it where the red units were your localized services, the blue units were your inner suburban, and the white units were your outer suburban long distance express services. Another 450 now with the Southwestern Railway wrap. 455. And then this thing. I saw this when I was at West 5 Fleet. This thing went inbound and came back out. I'm surprised you know what happened a little later. This is the Class 701 under test. Like I said, they have not entered passenger service yet. They go past Clapham Junction Yard, you see them sitting over there. Went down to another station for Hersham. Another good photo angle. 455s, 450s, 159s. This is just rush hour. As the old saying goes, you can't change film fast enough. The next day was primarily a shopping day. I went to the London Transport Museum in Covent Garden. And I had a little time to do for David, so I went to Hammersmith and got a couple of Piccadilly ones. The next day, I went to the South Coast to do the West Coast Line. This is at East Worthing. This is not what I went there for. The next shot is what I went there for. These are the Class 320s which were taken out of service just before I got there, 2 weeks before. These things are built in 1976 in a suburban trains, originally built overhead electric and third rail. There were 5 different bodies on this train was going out for scrap. Got posted where it was going to be, found a spot, grabbed the shotgun. Later in the day, I went to Red Hill Station. I had to make a few connections. I was going to meet with a guy with the Network Southeast Railway Society Fusions Group who was going to get me some pins and magnets and stuff. At Rail Hill, we also get service by once an hour for the Reading to Gatwick Airport. Operated by Great Western Railway and Diesel 166 with 165. Comes from Reading, comes into Red Hill, changes ends, it goes one station south to Gatwick Airport. I met up with the guy at Network Southeast Railway Society at the station called Tom. Tom is another good place. Good sun angles throughout the day. This is a Southeastern Trains, Class 377. Multiple subclasses within this group, but these are 377s. Initially they were white and yellow doors, now they're two-tone blue and they're pretty good. And again, we got another freight train coming through. My locomotive advertising the HS2, which is the high-speed line they're building now. They already have HS1. Two Class 7-3 electric vehicles. The only way to describe these things is, for those familiar with the FL lines, this is their FL lines. And the second one is in the southern case with GB Rail Freight decals on it. It's just transferred over. There's only one like it. I actually have a model of that exact locomotive. Class 466s and 465s, these are not long for this work. They're building it. Oh yeah, they're building it. There's construction all over the place. Yes. Somewhere along, I want to say maybe Houston. It's London to Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, that type of thing. So it's going to be a companion to West Coast Mainline. This is at Chiselhurst, Class 465. Some of these had air conditioning units put in for the operators. This one does not. 465 on the right and a 375 on the left. And remember, I said about this Class 707 and Southwest trains and Southwestern Railway had. They transferred initially 18 to the 30, and now I believe the whole thing to Southeastern trains. They're called the City B, and here's what they look like. The next day, we took a trip up to Liverpool. This is another Siemens Desiro, but this is a diesel, the 185, operated by Trans-Pennine Express. Trans-Pennine Express was just recently taken over by the government because their performance was a bit substandard. Liverpool Line Street Station is a good place to get the photos. It's tough with some of the shadows from the rooms, but you can do pretty decent. Class 156 diesel locomotive operated by Norton. On the other end of the train is still 50 Sprinter. The 350s operated now by London North Western Railway, but this is in the previous paint scheme of London Midland. Class 323s operated by Northern. That is one of the 800 series. This is operated by Trans-Canada Express. They have actually also have a Nova, I think the Nova 3 they call them. The Nova 2 is a cab car with 1.5 coaches pulled by a diesel with diesel electric motor. Class 319 Northern. Class 195 for Northern, the same body shell as the Class 311. Electric is a 195 diesel built by CAT. Now the reason we went up there partly is to go see Mersey Rail. Mersey Rail has Class 507 and 508s. 507s were 3-car units, 508s were 4-car units. 507s built from Liverpool, 508s built for London. London decided then we're going to take one of the coaches out, send the 508s up to Liverpool, and they operate hand in hand. These things are not long for this world, they get new cars in. One side of the Mersey Rail, these Mersey Rail trains are gray, and the other side is yellow. They've gone through many paint schemes over there. This is at the station called Bidston. It's just an island platform, nothing special. But here's the reason we went here. This is a rebuilt London Underground D-stop train. Now operates as a diesel for transport for Wales. They've had problems with these things. They come in service, they're out of service. The company that built them, Viva Rail, had problems. They were operating on another line outside of London. They pulled them out of service and it's substituted right now. It's a whole big rigmarole. From an overbridge that's outside the station, you get a couple of shots of them. I went to Kirkdale, was photographed here, and got a pair of the 507s. Like I said, the 507s, 508s are identical. What's replacing them? These things. These are the 777s. No, it's not an airplane. They adjust their floor height, they're fully accessible, they're fully air conditioned. Nice trains. You know, I mean, I like yellow ones better, that's just my personal choice, but nice to ride. Here, another station up, Ansdale, Main Street. We'll go up a bridge there. The next day, I went to do was the East Coast Main Line. There's a station north of London, just outside the London travel car zone called Welham Green. This is a station you have to go to. 4 tracks, 2 side platforms. Narrow platforms, trains only stop there every half hour. It's a sheer volume of trains. It's just non-stop. This is a Class 717 Desiro City operated by Great Northern. These are similar to the other Desiro cities, except these have a front emergency door for use in the tunnel to Moorgate Station in London. And that's the train leaving. Then you see these. Here's one of those Class 800 series trains, the IETs, London Northeastern Railway, which operates the main East Coast mainline services. Thameslink operating a 12-car train on this service. Great Northern service, the first 4 cars in white are the Great Northern paint scheme. The last 4, Gallic Express, that were transferred over to them. Let's go back to the this is Lumo. Lumo is an open access rail line. It's I don't know how it works over there, but this is open access. You can ride this train up the East Coast Main Line. It's cheaper, blah, blah, blah. Hull Trains also operates these things. Former Great Western Railway, 387s, now for Great Northern. I moved the further station up to Welwyn Garden City. Nice place to photograph. And while I'm photographing there, I see a worker in an orange jumpsuit coming my way. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I can't take photos. Put the tripod away. Give me a firstborn, all this stuff. I'll tell you more in a second. This is one of the 8-car attempting trains. She gave me some information confirmed by one of her co-workers, and you'll see the shot of that in a second. Another IET passing by. One of them going northbound with a Class 717 terminates there on the left. This is operated by Grand Central, another open access train. These are the Class 180 diesels, aka the Adelante series. They've had problems with these things for many, many years. They've gone from operator to operator to operator. How long they're going to be around, I'm not sure. London Northeastern Railway still has a few of the Class 91 locomotives, Mark IV coaches, and a Mark IV DVT, driving van trail on the south end. A DVT is basically their cab car. So I was happy to get that, another 800. Great Northern with a stopping service there. I went up to this next station called Welwyn North. Nice little station, quaint building. IET passing by southbound. Tennessee passing by southbound. Went up to another station, a couple stations away, Stevenage. I was told to go there to see something. No, it's not Grand Central. No, it's not Thameslink. This flying Scotsman was coming through that day. That's what they told me to go up and see. It's 100 years old now, one of the most famous steam locomotives in the world. When I say this place was loaded with train enthusiasts, I mean it was almost wall to wall. I've got video on this that hopefully we'll be able to see it. The next day after doing stuff, I went around. This is Baker Street Station on the London Underground. Probably the most famous of all the underground stations. Opened in 1863. The Sherlock Holmes Museum is right upstairs. It's Baker Street. It's quaint. It's blah, blah, blah. One of the S7 stock in either the Hammersmith City or Circle Line. And yes, the finest things from America made it across the London. Yep, they got it all over the damn place. An eastbound train. Downstairs is a Baker Street station on the Bakerloo line, and that's actually the Bakerloo it stands for Baker Street Waterloo Railway. This is Sunday the 25th. I was meeting up with my friend Colin to go to the Cobham Bus Museum. Dave Ross, you remember that very well. We went to the museum that time. They were doing major track work, so we had to kind of go in a roundabout way. I was going to meet Colin at a station called Staines. This is at Richmond, where I got off the underground to get the commuter train. That's a Class 458, Class 455. Another 455 in the original configuration on the end. 450. We met up at Staines, and then we had to take another train to West Byfleet and double back to go to Weybridge to get to the museum. Southwestern Railway is not run properly. Because we waited on that platform for 3 hours in the hot sun to get over there, no train came by. Oh, let me rephrase that. Trains came by. They just didn't stop. You had crowd conditions at 11:30, 12 noon on a Sunday morning where people were wall to wall on the platform. They maybe get 5 people per train that stop that get on there. This was packed because the trains are coming through and stopping. So we're at Staines. We made it down as far as West Byfleet, and after that I said, the heck with it. We both got tired of being in the hot sun, 88 degrees. Another 444. So I went back to the hotel, rested for a while, and went out to do a few shots of London Overground. This is at Harringay Green Lane Station. Another good place. We afternoon shot during the summer. elevated on an event, class 710. The 710s come in either 4-car or 5-car units. Some have overhead, some have third rail, some have fourth. Then I went to do what used to be part of the underground for the East London line. Now it's part of London Overground. These are class 378 electric stars. This is at Shadwell Station. We shot it there. This is at, I know I'm going to get two of them mixed up, because one's in the north, one. This is Wapping. These trains go through what's called the Thames Tunnel, built in 1873 by Isambard Kingdom Grinnell. Initially a pedestrian tunnel, for many years now a railway tunnel. This is at Rotherhithe. And they painted some of them in a high fan around the window paint scheme. I like the other one a little bit. Next thing I went out to do Greater Anglia. Greater Anglia operates what were known as West Anglia trains and Great Eastern trains. It's now part of the Greater Anglia network. This is a class 720. They use these as either 5-car or 10-car trains. This is at Brinsdale. This is going the opposite direction as class 745, operated by Greater Anglia for their Stansted Express service to Stansted Airport. And yes, another foot. Went up to Cheshunt over there for a while with a 720, 745. This is part of Stadler's Flirt series. It's a 12-car train, but every 2 cars are articulated.
You know, I just wanted you to see that.
Now, I took a shot of here. This is actually one of the last shots I did on this particular day, but I put it here just to give you an overview first. This is Elsinore Station. This is a station that's nothing great train photography-wise, but it's one of the most unique stations you'll see. See the gentleman in the orange jumpsuit there? He's closing the gates. The gates are manually operated and stay across the tracks for the most part. He gets a signal that a train is approaching from whichever direction and has to go and open and or close the gates. It's not automatic. He's got to do it. And I've seen this a couple of times. It's great to watch it. It looks great on video. I'm doing this thing there. That overbridge I was on, you see in the background there, was put up about 15 years ago. 2 young girls, like 12 or 15 years old, got off the train, they went across the tracks, not knowing another train was coming. That's all I'm going to say. There's a 720 heading towards London. Gates are closed. There's a shot of the Elsinore crossing box. I always talk to the operator every time I go up there, because they see me photograph, they're like, what are you doing? And I try to explain, we have nothing like this in the States. This is just truly unique. And there's not too many of these around, at least in Greater London. This is the only one I know. So again, a street level view of it. And he has to give a signal back to the previous location for them to allow that train to pass. And sometimes you get some expresses that they're flying, but you got to do it real quick. London Liverpool Street Station with a train in the 720s, train in the 745, and the London Overground now has some service that goes into Liverpool Street. When I got back to the hotel area that night, I decided to do a little nighttime photography with some buses there, and I got a few shots before I was asked to cease and desist because you're using a tripod taking photos. We don't want you taking photos on LT property. Okay, no problem. I got my shots, so that's good. That's all right. It's just another bus shot. Next day I went out to do something else that was special, but I went to a station called West Ham. There's a West Ham and an East Ham. This is on the district line, probably one of the best spots to get the district line on the eastern line. This is from the commuter rail platform operated by C2C as a company. And here's C2C now. This is at Raymond. Not a strip station, 2-side platforms, nothing special. You kick the freight train coming through, of course. But there's an overbridge and it crosses over the high-speed 1 tracks. This is Southeastern High Speed heading towards St. Pancras International Station in London. This is a commuter train that does 140 miles an hour. It comes from Ashford and further southeast England. These are Hitachi, built in Japan. The inbound trains you can see from about a mile away, and in seconds they're upon you. The outbound trains, you just kind of hear a whoosh because it comes out of the tunnel onto this little overbridge here, and it races by. This is also where the Eurostar trains go through. I was shooting, I think, at 2,000 of a second, and I could just barely get them. They're flying. And they're not even as fast as they actually go.
So this is the route to Brighton.
This is the route to Brussels and Amsterdam.
Supervisor service passes by Brighton or not?
Brighton on the south coast. This is southeast.
Oh, this is southeast, got it.
Is one of the Class 395 Javelin commuter trains heading outbound. I had a little time. I was trying to work my way around, get at least samples of some stuff. This is Docklands Light Railway. This is at Shoreditch High Street Station. These cars, I believe, are all going to be replaced to get new cars. This is one of the other series. I'm not sure the exact destination of every one. I didn't have time to look it up. Then I went and did some more of the Elizabeth line. This is at Manor Park. The Elizabeth line is on the south 2 of the 4 tracks. The north 2 is operated by the fast trains, 720 heading towards Shenfield and points east. A lot of the stations in London that have slow and fast trains, they put up these fences to prevent people from getting too close to the edge here. For the most part, they have 4.5. You can't get away with it and shoot over. Just be careful. Be careful, you don't want to get yourself straight on it. Here's one of the 745 flirts. The yellow band indicates that it's first class.
So Nick, are the Elizabeth line trains, are they bigger than the S stop line?
They are mainline trains, they're comparable in size. They may be longer, but as far as the dimensions, the width, they're similar. It's Class 345s, they're very similar.
Seating's more like commuter.
Yeah, it's a high-density service that they operate in the Elizabeth line. The first shot I saw before of them was at West Ealing. West Ealing used to have maybe a half an hourly service. Now they're getting a 7.5-minute service. I mean, it's every other train, Reading the airport, the East End, Abbeywood, Shenfield. Abbeywood, it's
so this
non-stop.
Is London's answer to Paris's RE.
It's very similar, yes, correct. This is at Shenfield with one of the 720s. Some terminate here, some continue through. On the left, you can see the Elizabeth line, or they think they've been sometimes purple train. This was a grab shot, and it's the only one I got the whole time there. This is a 755 flirt. It's similar to the 745, but it's two cars separated by a diesel unit. They operate either third rail, or overhead, or diesel. Another freight coming through with a Class 9, the electric. The next day, I decided to go south. I went to the Isle of Wight. For those who have not been there, you did miss some stuff because they have their own railway down there. It used to be ex-London Underground 1938 tube stop. Those are retired, I think it's just about 2 years now. These are ex-London Underground District Line D78 stops, now classified as Class 484. They're okay. I mean, they're nice, but it lacks the character of the older cars. This is at Brady, which this station, the platform I'm on over here, was just rebuilt. At one point, it was a single track line through here. They did replace the double track. They have an overbridge over it. It's a nice place to photograph. And now you got the second train. This is the place, one of the 2 places where they will be. When I was there, he was operating a half-hourly service, and then either a crew member got sick, and he went to an hourly service.
Yes, that's right.
This is at Sandown, Lake. Isle of Wight also has some buses. Bus operators, it's Southern Vectis. Two-tone green, so of course I love it. This is right outside the Ride St. John's Road Station, which because of track work, that was as far as the trains were going. Normally they go to Ride Esway and ride to the Pierhead to get a ferry from London. But they major track work going on. I think it's now reopened, but I'm not 100% sure. There's also an Isle of Light bus museum, which is in the former Southern Vectors Depot. This is a Bristol RE, which is, it could be fitted with bus seats or coach seats, depending on what your specifications are. They had a couple of others, but this is the best one to photograph. Now, for those who remember Benny Hill, I saw this, I had to get this shot. For those who remember Benny Hill, you'd always see Benny Hill with a sign, and it would say "to let," and they'd slide part of it over, and it would actually be a toilet. Well, "to let" means to release, to rip. I couldn't resist. The next day I went to Kensal Green to start photographing there. London Underground and Watford DC overground lines. And actually, while I'm here, I ran into somebody who many of us know very well here, Mr. Erlin. Thank you very much. I'm photographing this platform, and who gets off the train but Bill Erlin? Wait, what the hell are you doing here? He's everywhere. We can't get rid of him. The round tunnel here is actually built for mainline trains. So it looks good with the mainline train. It looks a little too big for the tube train. Went up. This is at Watford Junction with a Class 390 Pendolino from Avanti West Coast. These trains do tilt. Avanti also operates the 220 and 221 diesel multiple units, which at one point they were tilting. I believe they fixed the thing not to tilt anymore. These race through with 125 miles an hour. Now I went up to, I found a good place to photograph at a station called Hempstead, and first thing I see there is a freight coming through. But I wanted to get these. This is an afternoon shot. This is behind me to the right over here is where the West Coast main line is. And there's a fencing there, so you can't really get shots here. It's difficult. But this side is the semi-fast tracks. And this is an inbound to London train going to Euston Station, Class 350s, London Northwestern Railway, and the old London Midland Livery. I actually have miles of these trains. They're nice trains. Another freight coming through. Another 350. And then a 350 in the later current paint scheme. Now some of these trains have this kind of stylized NW wrap here. Some don't. They look good either way, so. I made my way up to Greater Birmingham, and this is at a station called Aston, which is sitting very close to Aston Villa Football Club Square. This is one of the 350s. They also have West Midlands trains operates these things too. These are the 323s. The sounds these trains make when they first start off is just, I don't know what you're going. I hope we get to the video, you'll be able to see it first. You'll be able to hear it firsthand. Next day I went to towards the south of London and along some other stuff. This is at East Croydon. East Croydon's a very major station. There's trains coming in every direction all over the place. Went on further stations south to Southport, one of the few stations where trains are passing non-stop without any fencing over here. But I couldn't set up a tripod, and they have the station, I guess you can call it security, trespassing people to prevent people from jumping, trespassing, etc. It's a major problem. So that's Southern. We have Thameslink also. Gatwick Express. I like the paint scheme. The nice stylized GX. I like it. You have the Southern Class 171 diesel multiple unit. They originally had 2 car units and 4 cars. Now they've combined some. And they do all sorts of things like that over there. I went up north of the city on the original Thameslink line towards Bedford. This is at Mill Hill Broadway. Broadway is not signified Broadway like we know Broadway here. Broadway is one of their main streets. So a high street, a Broadway, those are the major streets in a particular community. This is East Midlands Railway, Class 222 Meridians. Stopping service on the semi-fast side is Thameslink, 8 car trains a week. And I tried to get these, and as best as I could, These are class 360s. They've all been rebuilt, and now I'm ready for East Midlands Rail. When I get back over there again, I get better shots with this. I went from this point, I went to do some of the London Underground Northern Line. This is at Hendon Central, an inbound train. Service runs about every 3 minutes, almost throughout the day. And there's a northbound train. And if you ever wonder why London Underground is called the Tube, here's the reason. This is one of the few locations you can see a tube tunnel from a platform. Further in, I went to the station Brent Cross, and it's already started raining now. Hampstead, which was how it got named Hampstead Tube. This is Piccadilly Circus on the Bakerloo. This particular location is the only place on the entire London Underground to get a shot like this. You have the north end of the northbound station, and you can see a train coming southbound with switches right there. It's the only time you get a shot like this. And thank God for, I still do my film, but thank God for digital photography, because I think I set my ISO for 102,000 for this shot, and it came out pretty damn good. And there's a northbound train there. Now let's go and come back to New York. You just saw the beauty, here's the beast. Here, the 211, the first train, 88th Street Station. We've got R143s at Hughes on the J. And here's the R160s on the Mary at Hughes. The only difference is, you know, the flag above the symbol or the below the symbol. And this is taken during July of 2020. And actually, this particular day, I met up with the late, great Ron Yee over there, may he rest in peace. And we're getting some of the last runs of the R32. Coming back out. Hated to work on them. Love them as trains. That's a Lorimer. There's that Kosciuszko. Leaving Kosciuszko. This is when they started doing their farewell runs. This is that 34th and 6th, I think the first Sunday they started doing it. And that's a southbound. Then they put the blue paint on it, which, gotta say, it looked pretty good. The last day, January 9th of 2022, my hands, I just trying to get thawed out. It was brutal. It was horrible. And I'm out there photographing I bought a pair of gloves which are supposed to be very, very cold. They were not. I got so cold later on, I couldn't stay. I didn't stay out here to get the shots of the last runs running in the evening. I went underground in Midtown and got people walking in front of us to get shots. So, just a few shots of the 32s that day.
What station?
That was Avenue M.
Okay. Right.
And I give him his due. Mark Wolodarski did a bang-up job on these trains. I mean, he really, you know, people have complained about him with various things over the years. He did a bang-up job. Avenue H. Avenue M again. Coming out from up the grade, up over the edge. And I mean, the place is just loaded with rail fans. Now, a little better weather. This is the Lokies heading to the Yankees opening day in 2022 at West Palm Square. This is last year's holiday train. The first Sunday I did it. This is at 72nd Street. 72nd Street on the northbound, you had just enough room to squeeze a shot in with a tripod. Just enough.
What station?
Coming southbound, handheld, thank God for digital again, at 4th Street. And the red end of the train at 125. Another frigid cold day. The green end. The following week, the weather was quite a bit nicer, a little more temperate.
It was raining?
No, I was out there, it was sunny. I only got to do the first run, that was it. Then this is March 30th of this year. This is the low B's coming for the Yankees opening day. This is at Intervale.
Oh, wait, man, that's good.
And the Protect train behind it, which is always shot together because I got blocked by a northbound road train. Gorilla Trains 2022. This is at the MU with the 32s, now the standards. Standards are in need of a paint job. The gate cars. Didn't get to ride it that year. I did get to ride it this year, and previously in 2019, I got the thrill of riding on the platform, which is something I always read about back in the old days. R19s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this one.
The freshly painted R10 looks really good.
They're in the museum.
16.
R16 and the other little train. Standards going north. Sheepshead Bay with the BUs. Standards. R9. R10. Neck Road with the 8 cars going north. Standards. The middle car, the R10 consist. And the last car. The line can be a difficult line to photograph just because there are so many shadows that, you've got to pick your places. Eric is listed on the front there. And that road. Road 9. The whole shebang coming back to the yard on the Sunday. I usually take off both days for this weekend if I'm around. This is on the Sunday alone. The bus club, the New York Bus Association, had a trip on Saturday, so I couldn't go that, but I at least came out Sunday to get it. This is this year's Courier of the Trains.
That's the rain.
This is on Saturday on September 9th. R68's on the Quincy. R46 is on the Quincy. Passing each other at the Neck Road. Gate cars going back south. The standards, they really job. Sheepshead Bay again. The sounds these trains make are just classic. They're really good. Then the weather started getting a little less than stellar. This is all for the end of the platform at Ocean Parkway at the Manhattan area. We only have one train, we want 2 trains. We want 3 trains. We would kind of want 4 trains. 54.
How we go?
5 trains. Bellevue called, they're waiting for their patients to get back to work, back in the hospital. Sunday was a bit of a rainy Sunday. Gate cars. Now here's the funny thing, me personally, they actually look better in the rain. They look a lot better. Now, let's take a little journey kind of to the east, northeast. We're at New London, Connecticut with Amtrak. And if you don't want to go that route, well, you can always go up to Springfield and Amtrak from there. Or take this one, Amtrak. You can see the second engine there is the one that Heritage engines.
Where's this?
This is Springfield.
Oh, Springfield.
Let's go to Boston. The end of the Green Line, B branch, their little yard, this part was closed off for track work. So we kind of walked around where we weren't supposed to walk around, but we still really get a few shots of them over there. Type 7s, I like the Type 7. Not the PCC, but the Ultimate. It's nice. They were terminating kind of one stop beforehand. It's right outside of where Boston College stopped. Bus route rented, chartered, is 1957 Beauty, TDH 4512. Beautiful bus. Absolutely beautiful bus. I mean, Everett shops absolutely did a bang-up job on this bus. We chartered, we went around, this is at the Heath Street loop of the E branch. We get one of the Type 8s coming out along with the bus on the side. Type 7 coming out with the bus.
Oh, sure.
That same Type 7 by itself. Type 8 behind it. Heading into Boston. Tuesday of the 5-day trip up there was our free day. So I went around, this is on the new Green Line extension at East Somerville. Went to Copley Station Photograph there. This is one of the Type 9 cars. Interesting paint, let's just leave it at that. Should cross the trackway there, an outbound car, he'll either go straight down Beacon or he's going to take a sharp left behind you there. So then on myself, I went out to do Pack Street under the Red Line. The Red Line at this time had slow zones all over the place. I went south to the station towards the south end of the Ashmont branch called Charlotte. It took me from there to come back up to Porter Station. Took me an hour and 20 minutes, which should have been about 35 minutes. It was a slow zone. It's atrocious. Horrible. Another one of the 1700s. These are going to be replaced once they get those Chinese built cars coming in. But they everything's going to be replaced. So get your photos now. This is that Broadway station. Station I always wanted to photograph the next day. This is that Charlotte. A bunch of us went out to dinner at Union Oyster House. We got done. We went to catch the Orange Line train back to the hotel. This is at Haymarket Station. Orange Line is tough to photo. This is at Sullivan Square. It's shadowy. It's weird lighting. It's tough. We went up to Maine one of the days of the trip, and this is at Dover, New Hampshire, where we photographed the trip on the Monday. Went up to Dover. This is the Downeaster. The inbound end of the train, the Boston end of the train is what has a cabbage. It's a cab car, baggage car, going around 40. We wanted to go see the Trolley Museum up there. Of course, the Trolley Museum is closed up Monday, wonderful. So Andrew Brawl made a thing to go see the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad. If you look closely, you can see some of the Bellevue's finest on the train.
Don't talk about it.
Hey. Nice little ride. Different. I never heard of it, but why not? I didn't do it nothing. It's a narrow gauge. I'm not sure the exact gauge. I don't even think it's 3 foot.
Really?
Now, perhaps for my next show, I show something like this. This is in Chicago, of the Skokie Swift. Yes, we know they had an accident, blah. This is at the Crowman Avenue grade crossing. I find it fascinating that CTA has several lines with grade crossing.
Yeah.
On the previous trip, about a year and a half earlier, glorious sunshine on the blue line at California. On another trip in 2022, I went there for the 75th anniversary of CTA, and this is one of the trains they were running, the 4-car 2400 series.
The camera.
I'm sorry?
You gotta fix your camera. It's not on the screen.
Oh, that's all right.
Almost done. Metro Electric operating. This is the Blue Island branch at State Street. Regular Metro, the BNSF line at Brookfield. If you go to Chicago, get a rental car, go out to Rochelle. You will not be disappointed. To the right of me over here is where there's a BNSF line, but this side is the Union Pacific line. Very, very busy. They got a rail fan park there. It's fantastic. I might put this in the next show. This is Washington Nevada's Metro Rail. The orange line at Cheverly, VRE at Blacklick Road. And if you go to DC, you might as well go down to Nashville, Virginia, to do a nice kind of semi-street running on the CSX Amtrak main. Maybe I'll put some of this on. This is from the trip out to San Diego last year for the ORA convention. This is at 24th Street, the Blue Line. Coaster in downtown San Diego. We went up to LA that day, the one day with the group. So this is the Expo line crossing where Crenshaw Boulevard, where their new line is. And Western Railway Museum with DCC. I think that's it for the photos. As you all come, please vote. My mic is already like it's probably.
And also thank Hank for calling Supervisor.
Yes.
And Nick had to go through the process of numbering each and every.
It was a labor of love. I sat there, put some nice music on it, hold on, I did my thing. Yes.
Nick has